his dreams, he can definitely do it, but only if he's self-confident. That is, only if he believes that he has the capability to do it. Because the logic that goes behind this is, most of us, what we actually do is we spend a lot of energy in thinking whether we can do it or not. So about 20% of your brain's energy goes into making whether to go or not. So you're not taking any decisions, but you're just still thinking whether you want to go there or not. So instead, if you believe that I can do it, and then put your rest 20% of your energy focusing on how to do it. So this is how the beauty of the brain is. So once you're very strong in your goals and you believe that you can do it, the brain will automatically, without you are even consciously, it can start thinking on how to achieve that goal. And the other advantage with such kind of thinking is, uh, suppose if you get into some failure, you'll not be quitting it. You'll keep on trying because you are believing in yourself. So this is a very important point that he talks, and he says this is the most important trait for a person to be successful. And what can be done? So now he has told that you need to have self-belief, but there should be a strategy uh, to do this. So one of the ways what he sees is creative thinking. So what is creative thinking is, unfortunately, our education system has been trained in such a way that most of the time we focus on memorizing things. So there's not going to be any value doing that, but to a certain extent, memorizing facts are good. But what happens is, when we keep memorizing a lot of facts, for example, I happened to see today, like in 2010, the onion prices were around 30 rupees, and suddenly it shot up to 90 rupees. And I think few months back, it was again 30 rupees and it shot up to 100 rupees. And most of the people were just remembering the facts. So they were thinking that onion prices were 30 and it shot up to 100. And there was a lot of protest and people started focusing on that. But the actual part is, even 10 years back, the onion prices were at the same level, 30 to 80, and similarly now 30 to 80. But when you see our salaries on an average middle level salaries, I think it has gone substantially up. So the problem here is, we keep thinking about the facts. So rather, we have to go ahead and think on how to solve the problems, and that is how, where the thinking, not even creative thinking, thinking helps us. So there are three ways the author says that we can do this. So first is open to new ideas. So every time what we do is, when somebody, not us, but generally I'm saying, what we do is, when somebody talks to us, we either accept them or reject them. So we come to a conclusion when the person talks. But he says we should not be doing that. We just need to simply listen to him, so that we don't judge him at that point. At the same time, the person is also very happy, because we are putting in our time and listening to what he's saying. So later, what we can do is, we can just go back and just rethink what the conversation was about. So later, we can just jot points such as pros and cons, and you can list them down. So this is what you can do. So what basically it helps us is, you can basically make what are the good points available and what are the bad points available, so that next time you don't repeat those mistakes. What are bads that you've got from him, and then the good ones you can implement in your future. And third, and the most important point he says, is implementation of this. So you're open to new ideas, you have learned whatever the person has said, and now you got to implement it. So now, how to implement this is what he's saying is, whatever job you do today, or say tomorrow, a repetitive job maybe, you'll have to try to improve the job. A classic example is, most of us, we would be doing a lot of introductory calls, or dropping the message in LinkedIn. So what happens is, usually I've tried it. So initially when I tried it, when I put say 25 messages, I used to get 1 or 2 replies. So what I used to do is, I keep thinking on how can I improve that message, so that at least instead of 2, I can get some 3 or 4 more people. So this is a short-term target where I can fix. Whereas my long-term goal is, I want to get as much as people as possible. But the short-term goal is to get at least 1 more the next day. So this is how you keep improving yourself daily. So this is the 3 points he says on how to increase your confidence level as well as your self-belief. So this is the first point he talks. And the second important point he talks is about respecting people. So which is very important. And many of the great leaders who are currently, or who are before, maybe like 100 years before, everybody was very keen on this point. So what they are saying is, irrespective of people's position, whether you are a manager or you're a servant maid, everybody has to be respected in the same way. Now, when you do this, what is the logic behind this is, most of us spend our energy thinking whether a person has to be treated this way or this way. So either he has to be treated very jovially or with high respect. So what happens is, we spend most of an energy deciding whether we are just judging the person. So instead, when we respect everybody equally, you can again use this extra amount of your energy in doing something more productive or more creative thing. So this is the logic behind what he says about respecting everybody equally. Because as network marketing as an industry, we are also very much dependent on our downline as well as our upline as well. So we'll have to treat everybody equally, irrespective of whatever positions, whether they are downlines or not. So that's how we keep improving. Only people can help us to move forward in our life. So this is the second point he talks. And third, the most important thing he talks is about the environment in which we are. So naturally, we don't have the luxury to change the way people think, especially the people who are we are associated with, but we have the possibility of joining or associating with people who are better than us or people who think much better than us. So in this way, and again, sometimes we may not be able to find such people, whereas in such case, he says books are very much essential. Very good books of leading authors and about biographies, which can certainly help us to improve our thinking. So in our network marketing business, especially Ankur and Taru's group, I think we are focusing more on this part as well, because for a new person who comes into this business, now he has to get accustomed to the new environment. So this is where we give our books, the basic self-development books, and also we also give them the audio case studies. So the basic book, self-development books, gives you the theory, the basic knowledge, whereas these audio case studies will help us to relate how people have accomplished using these basic ideas. Now, one more point can also be added here, where I found it very interesting is the biographies. So biographies of great people like, say, Elon Musk or Warren Buffett. So what happens is in these books, around 400, 500 pages, you have a tons of experience, about 40, 50 years of their experience put into 500 pages. So you may take around 1 or 2 months to read it, and you can substantially gain the entire life experience within a span of 2 months. And what I feel is, I've heard audio case studies where sometimes initially when they told about Manoj, I was not able to relate what they were saying, because I haven't seen Manoj, I've not seen his accomplishment in any media, or I've just heard my upline saying about it. So, but whereas in addition to the audio case studies, I'm saying, if we go through these biographies, as we naturally know, the media keeps covering these people, and we know what they have accomplished as of till now. So when we are able to connect this theory, audio case studies, and biographies, we'll be able to see the vision, what these guys are planning, and what thought process they have done, what work they have done to accomplish this. So we can easily connect all these things in a short span of time. So this is where I feel biographies could be much more helpful in addition to the audio case studies. So these are the 3 points I felt it's very important from this book, and I hope it helps for others as well. Yeah. That's it, Satish. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Ram. So next, Rahman.